Te lo he mandado por email. Ah, aquí estás. No te veo. Ok. Espera, view, gallery. Ok. Ahora voy a hacer, vamos a intentar. Un momento, voy a intentar también Facebook. A ver si puedo hacerlo en tu Fuseby. Ok, puedo hacerlo en el
¿Sí puedes hacerlo en Dot Mandala Surfer? ¿O te paso las llaves de transmisión?
Inspiration versus copying. Puedo hacerlo ahí también. Mira, directamente a Inspiration versus copying en el evento mismo.
Ah, perfectísimo.
Ay, no me deja.
Pero, ¿y si yo te paso mis llaves de transmisión? ¿No te deja? ¿Será?
Uy, error, me ha hecho error. Espera, ¿dónde estoy? ¿Dónde estás tú? Va, otra vez. Voy a hacerlo entonces como llave de transmisión. No sé si se puede. Live en Facebook tengo que decidir antes dónde. Si es el newsfeed de la página. Voy a hacer... va a ser en mi página. ¿Vale? Y luego de ahí vamos a compartirlo a todos. Porque si no, no hay manera. Leonauto.art. Next. Y ahí me pregunta si puedo hacer más cosas. Y me pregunta, momento. A ver si ahora se funciona.
No, disculpa, tengo
Por
que
Dios.
ver cómo, qué faltó para que se viera, ¿verdad?
Vale, ahora lo ves que se ve los dos. Pero espera, se llama Inspiration versus copying. Ok. Y puedo añadir más grupos, pero no puedo añadir grupos. Ok. Ok. ¿Se puede también añadir a una cosa más? No veo aquí. Lo único que tendrás que hacer, como yo hice, es mandarlo a la página.
Yo
tuya.
mando los links.
Sí, vale, cuando le doy, ¿vale?
Dale.
A ver si... ¿dónde está? No me deja ir a Inspiration versus Copy. Copy. No me deja pasar. Ah, sí, ahora sí. Inspiration versus copying. Ok. A ver si funciona ahora. Ok. Let's see. The recording. I cheated. Again, I didn't do it. I forgot to record and okay. So the thing is that we're going to start with writing fragment, and I'm going to give very clear, when the thing is very clear that you know that you are, or that somebody else is making a use of bad use, or a use without your consent, or without or you're doing a use without somebody else's consent of their art. So this is something that is very, very very important that we know. Okay, if I am going to take somebody else's picture, for example yours, Yossi. If I'm taking a picture that Yossi did of her own art, and I'm going to use that on my course's promotion, and I would say, yes, I did that, or I am going to teach you this, or how to make this mandala. And I have not asked Yossi for her permission, and I have not asked you for to use your photo on my art, and I'm actually not able to share or to teach what I'm saying that I'm teaching, because I'm showing your photo. I'm not showing anything that I've done or that anything that I offer, but I'm showing something that you did. Then this is obviously right infringement, and it's obviously something that I shouldn't do. And I'm going to give you um, some like um, how do you say, some
Tips
not like,
or
no, not tips, but some kind of examples. That was the word I was looking for. Sometimes some examples. I one day look at a friend of mine, a colleague of mine. She told me, look at these Instagram. They're using your photo to promote their courses. And they took a beautiful photo of one photo that I made with my camera to one of my art stuff. And they just used it as a background to announce their course, and they never talked to me and they never asked me about it on the Instagram. And obviously I turned to them and I talked to them and I asked them to take this off. And at that moment there was not no response from them. And then after a couple of minutes, I saw that I was banned by them. So I couldn't even go and see again this picture. So this was something that is more like very clear situation of somebody's taking your art and it's using it, or your pictures or your photos, and it's using it. It's like anything else. I'm not going to go into it legally, because right now there are so many things that you have to know or not know, and you're not giving this legal advice here. We're not advisors legally about this thing. Another thing, another colleague of mine, you must know Lydia. She was the one that told me about that, Lydia May. And apparently Lydia May had a problem that somebody took her videos. I think that was Lydia May, her videos from YouTube. And they took those videos. Lydia May has a huge, beautiful site on YouTube that is that she teaches. She has over 80 or 90 videos where she teaches how to dot mandalas. And somebody took her videos and actually put it inside their course, their paid course. They used it. They took off the the watermark or anything, and they used it in their course and everything. So we're talking here about a level. Obviously, we're starting with a level that is quite clear what is not to do and how not to use somebody else's art in order to do this. Another thing is that as an example is one of my ex-students, she's no longer a student, took my worksheets from the course, and she did not ask me, and she used it in her course, and she kind of not even made her own, because we all have like our own worksheets on our courses. Yossi has her own worksheets on our courses. She created one. She made that lady, what she did was taking off, changing the name of those of the pages, but but the whole thing was what I created, and she did not ask me, and she used it in her course. So these are right infringements, and these are like a big no, and we're not even here to discuss it. I don't think there is nothing to discuss it. This is not like somebody copied you or did their own version of your design or anything. This is somebody taking your work and they applied it or into their work. There is another thing that is we have to be conscious about. That is, for example, I have a lot of students that finish courses in my course, okay, and they have their own work, and usually what I ask them those students that finish the course is to send me their photo, the photo of their face, and I want to use their photo and the photo of what they did in order to promote my own course, okay, for example. But that is done with a permission, that is done asking those people for their for the course. And I usually try, if it's not clashing with the links that I am promoting the course with, I usually try to put the links or to share the names or on the videos of those who made that. So there is always a way to do it in a way that would respect that person, because although it's kind of part of my course or anything, still they are the people who created this creation. And it doesn't matter that it is my design or whatever, they created this creation, part of the course, of course, but still. And this is why this is very important that if I share something of theirs, that I use that in a way that promotes my course, which is okay because they gave their consent, but also to be my, like, to give me a testimonial, but also to be able to do it in a way that respects them as the creators of that creation. Okay, this is and we've seen not long ago, we've seen, I think Christina was there, Christina Lee, if you're here, say hi, that she put on her page a photo from a video that you saw somewhere else. We talked about it in your page as well, that I can find pictures of mine and pictures of Javier and pictures of other artists in AliExpress shops that
Yeah.
are that are selling dotting tools. They're not even painting with dotting tools, neither Javier, neither Elspeth, and still we can find our pictures, and that is very, very hard um, to fight. And I have to say, I'm kind of tired to
If
find
if I may say something,
that.
unfortunately, I think in some countries or some cultures, um, sometimes we know about the copyright laws and that we have to respect others people work, but it's so used to, for example, in China, it's so used to copying. I mean, they say we have been copying for 1,000 of years. It's kind of, they don't see, sometimes it's different when deliberately somebody with the intention takes your picture to promote, for self promotion. But in some part of the world, uh, unfortunately, I think, I come from Venezuela. I told you my story. It's
Please
not
tell,
our
please
thing.
tell our audience as well
But
the
I
story. So
would,
yes.
for example, in the universe, I studied at the top university in my country. I'm not gonna say my country is bad or so, but there were copy machines copying the books because sometimes we didn't have the books for sale. So the copy machines were there, and you just bought the book copied to I mean to take notes or to highlight to study for the exams. Then I was granted a scholarship in England, and I went to England with my mindset, Venezuelan mindset of the university. And there were, I think, 2 or 3 books to study, and the books were quite expensive for me to buy. So I went to a copy machine and started copying the book because I was used to it back home. And then the librarian came and said, "You are breaking the law." And then it was a cultural crash
Flash.
immediately. Yeah, and it's not that I wanted to, in my mind, I was worried about the exam that I needed to study. There were a few books in the library, and it was all that. I believe this Alibaba or whatever, sometimes they take that to sell, and
Alibaba,
it's
AliExpress.
normal. Alibaba, yeah, yeah, they see it normal because they some. I'm not. This is not an excuse. They are doing a bad thing. Definitely they're
I'm
doing.
just what you say is that is what I'm talking about, awareness. And this is something that obviously there is like a cultural awareness or different awarenesses in different states or different places for these things. But just to give you another example of what you said right now, is that I have a friend. She has a beautiful costume, like fantasy costume.
I see
Uh, yeah,
they could take up
fantasy costume um, workshop that she has people hired. They're working. They're doing it all by hand. It's beautiful. And then what happens is that those shops from AliExpress and Amazon as well, taking her photos. Sometimes she is, most of the time, she is the model also of there. So you see photos of her, and then they're selling some cheap imitation of what she is, but pretending to sell what she's selling. And of course, they're selling it very cheap. And what the people, what they get, they see her face there. She's represented there. You see, not only the costume that she's doing, but also the thing as
her
and
body,
when
her image. Yeah.
her image, she's is on the front. And what happened is, another thing that happens is that people are turning to her and says, you are buying from the Chinese and you're selling it for 10 times more. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? So it's not even that, just that. And when she is like, she has to fight this because it's her income of her people that work for her. She's hiring people are working in this shop. She's paying wages
Pay
for
for
people,
something that is
and
not
they
fair.
are endangering their own her own work. But the thing is that by the way, you should all look at her beautiful work. The shop, the workshop called Costurero Real, and it's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, just
Amazing.
I will
Yes.
put that after in the work in the comments, so you can go in and click and see her stuff. And it is very sad because when she was once she's always reporting those shops, and she reported a shop. I don't even know if it was on Etsy or Amazon, and the lady from the shop asked her, why did you do that? And why did you ruin, like, they closed her shop for that. And she said, why did you, and what are you complaining about? You took my pictures, you are selling something that is not mine, you're pretending to sell something that is mine, and then you are um,
This
complaining about.
this is what I say. I mean, I think in our when it comes to our work, sometimes we do have like a mission to maybe to educate those people in those countries to go against their own cultures. That happens in Brazil. I'm gonna be very open here. I mean, I lived in Brazil 15 years, and yarn mandala. I'm talking about the many cases that I saw. Many people took in Brazil my photos to promote not their courses, but that they would copy my a mandala that I created, a specific one. But talking about the yarn mandala, I saw many times the yarn mandala of my professor of yarn mandala being posted, and they had, you know what they did? Their business was they took all the videos from an artist that is in Panama. Her name is Lucrecia from Recrearte Club. They do yarn mandala. They took it from YouTube. They mute the videos and they were selling the videos for I don't know, $5, let's say. But these were videos for free in YouTube. And what happened was that they these people that were doing this deliberately, they were intentionally, they took the videos, they muted the videos, and they were selling on Amazon. Imagine, they created a web page, but there was no artist in front of the art. They were selling the class very cheap. Many people bought that class. And what did they receive? Videos with no audios. So also for people, we are teachers, we offer our classes. it's also to be aware that if you're going to buy a class, you have to see who's the professor behind that class. Don't buy it because it's cheap. Oh, because I'm going to buy this class at a cheaper price. Most probably you're going to get stolen. Those classes are videos you can find for free in YouTube, and you will not have the support Leona and I give to our
That's what we
students.
was talking about before with Lydia May. That's what they did. They took her videos from YouTube, something that is free, and they sold it as part of the work. So
Was
this is
she
very
given like yeah, it's a similar example, but what I want to ask is this lady giving the face to to the students? No,
no,
they were selling.
exactly. Now, this is, we started with that because this is the most clear
Yeah.
violation of rights, clear violation of artwork, stealing artwork. This is not what we came here to talk about, but I wanted to kind of clear, we wanted to kind of clear that so we can go to the more vague zone, or the most, the more vague zone that, yeah,
But just to wrap up the idea,
yes, please.
I mean, for people who are listening or who eventually could see this, don't do that. I mean, if you need, we're going to talk about other things, but some people do not know they're doing the wrong thing because of their culture background, you know. And I don't want anybody to take personally that I am speaking bad about any nation or culture at
No, no,
all,
of course
but
not. We're here
it's
to,
more like awareness, as Leona said, like um, just check, you know, taking somebody's work to promote yourself is not right, is not right. This is the principle, I would say, or the key message, I would say, from this section of the conversation, if you agree, Leona. uh, don't do that. There's no need for you to do that. There's no need. Avoid legal problems, avoid being getting discussions. Don't do that. And if you're in a culture where this is kind of normal, the cultures I was born, this is not seen like stealing, but it is stealing. So we're here, Leona and I, to open our eyes and help you be aware of this. Do not promote yourself with other artists' work. This is just what I wanted to say.
wrap up, as you said, exactly. Let's go to the more vague zone. And that
Area.
vague zone, that vague zone for us, or at least what we were talking about in between us a little bit before, uh, is also divided into two parts. I'm going to put that air condition because I'm freezing here. Um, and this vague zone is more like when we are going to get inspired, or we take something and we start copying it, and or we take something and we think we're going to get inspired, and then we start copying it, and then we found out that we have the same piece only in our way. So first of all, I know that Yossi and also I, as teachers, we do encourage you guys to copy. We do encourage you guys to copy, because copying is the basic way of learning anything. It is a way of learning how to walk, how to stand, how to talk. It is a way to learn how to dance. You copy the dance, the teacher's movements, and of course, how to paint, and how to paint. I mean, in the academy, in the painting academy, you are painting, you are doing your version of Van Gogh, your version of Monet, your version, so you can get, as you say, practice a little bit as a other person. Also, when I teach how to sing, I'm asking the person to think of a singer that they like and try to imitate them. And that the idea to imitate them is so you can gain their own technique, vocal technique, because when you are imitating some other person, you kind of put yourself into the position they are putting themselves, and you kind of do something with your voice in order to make their voice, and by doing that you kind of gaining their technique, a vocal technique. So let's start with that. You want to say something about that,
No,
darling?
keep going. I want to tell something, but I wanted to finish the idea
Okay.
before I.
So for the sake of learning, copying is not only good, it's recommended. You are, you are, you really, really can learn a lot from taking a design by some of your favorite artists and try to do what they done, because then you will see what, for example, in our case, in the mandala case, what part is built on what part went first. If you can see videos of them painting this very piece, that would be even better, because then you know which line or dot came before the other and how they divided that. Did they do first the upper dot and then they went all around? Did they do 3 dots and then they went all around? Did they go from one side to the other, or from the other side to the one? So it is very important that you learn through imitating or through copying. But but I know, and this is, I'm trying to see, there is always, let's go for the singing part. Okay. I'm going to take this from my other world. I'm going to take my other world. If I'm going now to sing, love of my life, you hurt me. You
Wow.
broken my heart, and then you leave me. Nobody will think this is my song, right? Because you guys know that this is Freddie Mercury's. You know this is Queen's song, right? So it's gonna be stupid that I will say, look at the song that I just invented, and it doesn't matter how I'm going to put it. I'm going to make it mine, or how I'm going to give it my twist, my voice, which is different than Freddie's voice, and my own twist to it. And still, you're going to know that this is not my song, right? So I did an interpretation of that song, or I gave it my own style and my own feeling and my own twists. But the problem is not when it's Freddie Mercury and you know their rest in peace, but that you know that it's his work, no, or Queen's work. What if the person that I'm imitating is not a known person? What if the music that was written, I'm going to sing you a song that not everybody knows. Somebody, maybe 2 people know, and I know, and then I sing and I present it as my own song. Now that would be nice that I do that, but not to say that it's mine. I would say this is John Dawes song. This is Mary's song, or Cecilia's song, and I am going to sing it for you. This is she wrote the lyrics. Jonathan wrote the music, and I'm going to sing it for you. This is how I do it. So that is one thing that you understand, and we are going to take that and we'll put it to our world. We're going to take that and we'll put it into our world, the world of making a mandalas. And this is okay that you did this interpretation of the work, but when you present it to the people and people start, what an amazing design. Okay, guys, this is the time for you to be honest with yourselves, first of all, because you can take all the good stuff to yourself and like, that's great. That feels so great. Everybody's, and really inside, you know the truth.
Yeah.
So you're not cheating anybody else. You're cheating yourself, and you know you cheat yourself. That's the thing. So it's kind of you you try to believe this. Now, the thing is that the more you share whose it is, okay, you don't get less valued because you did somebody else's like interpretation of their design. You don't get less valued. I've seen interpretations of my work, people who said this is the interpretation, or this is my version, or this is a copy of Leona's work. And guys, they did it better than me. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah,
They did it better than me. And when they did, I told them, I wrote them underneath. So anybody who is my follower started follow that person because I went in and I said, "Oh my God, this is better than what I did." and
yeah,
and the idea is that nothing was bad. Now, if they did not say that, I didn't go in. I didn't say anything. So all my followers, okay, did not see that. And if they saw that, the best, like the less worse thing that would happen, that they would shut up about it. But the worst thing for that person, that they would say, this is an imitation of Leona. So,
yeah.
or whatever, or this is an imitation of Elspeth, or this is an imitation of, I don't know what. And this is one thing that you can avoid, because you know that this community is very, very small. It's very small. It's
Business,
huge.
small, yeah, but
It's
it's very
huge, but it is intimate. We know each
you can
other. We know each
tell
other's
who
work.
work is, yeah.
Exactly. So we do know each other's work. So we would start recognizing, I know when I see somebody else's interpretation of somebody else's work, you know,
As
this,
you can say sometimes, well, that's a very bad copy of that person, of
or a
that person.
very good one, or a very good one.
So again, guys, it's like Leona said, it's not that we're gonna lecture anybody, but maybe some tips that people sometimes do things without being really aware. When you're starting to paint, you see the mandalas, and of course, it's a language your brain is going to recognize. You're gonna be visually amazed by them, and you say, wow, I have to learn how to do that. And of course, you have to think of shapes, measures, colors. It's too much information when you are at the beginning of of the dotting, or if you're in the middle or advanced and you see an amazing work from somebody and you just wanna, you feel like doing it because you wanna try it. It's normal to feel like that. Uh, my point is, of course, at the beginning, I think for study purposes, people have to also start copying, but not to repeat what Leona said, but just to add something. It's important in the community. It's important. This is like a non-spoken rule. It's an unspoken rule, but you have to follow this rule if you're beginning. Give the credits to the artist. Okay, just to again to wrap up the idea. Do not take from the first section of the speak. Do not use other people's art to promote yourself. And second, if you are copying or you are doing your own version of another artist, it's gonna be well seen if you give the credits to the creator. That it has happened to me, Leon. I don't know if that has happened to you. A few weeks ago, a student of mine came with an amazing art. I don't have it here, but it's like a circle. Oh, I have it here just to show. She came to me asking to teach them this, okay, this effect. But I didn't know who was the person. Then I started searching, and a similar artwork, the picture that my student sent had no watermark. what did I do? Because I am a teacher, I have to be professional also. So I found in a Brazilian group of dotting artists the artist that created that pattern. And I started to talk to her, to speak to her in Portuguese. She was from Hungary. And she was using Google Translator. She spoke German and Hungary and the whatever the language is in Hungary. Apologies for my ignorance. And then we
Hungarian.
were using
I'm
what
Hungarian. I'm Hungarian.
Hungarian.
Actually, I have a Hungarian passport and I speak not one word of English.
Really? Wow.
Hungarian as
It's
well.
Maria Tesla. She created this pattern that I found amazing. And I asked her permission to teach for free to my current students. I didn't charge my students for that. And then she said, okay, just give me the credits. I mean, it's easy, guys, just to be in touch with the person. Break the ice. The person is not gonna say
You're
no.
gonna make friends from Hungarian and speaking German.
Yeah, I mean, also another great artist that I think is taking a break. It's Anastasia Hilton. Uh, I don't know if she took a break because many people were copying her things.
I
But
copied Anastasia Hilton, I have to say.
me too,
Let
me
me,
too.
but let me see. I copied Anastasia Hilton. When I started painting, he was the person that I looked for, and her and Elsa McNeil, I copied their work. And I put one of the stones that I copied from her, which was a very bad copy of what she did at the time. And I put it on my Etsy shop, and she complained, and they took off the product, the item from my shop. I was just starting with the
Yeah,
Etsy, and have I have I understood that. That was when I got aware of that. And then what I did, I sent her an email. I apologized. That didn't help. She banned me from uh, all her how do you say, her work. But what I'm saying is that you learn,
really.
that I learned at that point. This is when I started, and I learned at that point that this was like a limit that I'm not supposed to be going through. And I understood that because I said, okay, I did a version of her stone, and then not a version, I copied her stone. It was very bad copy, I'm telling you. And I put it that to sell. And obviously I'm kind of creating an a competition, which was not a competition, but let's say it was a competition with her design. And I did not give her a credit, and I'm selling it on the same store that she was doing. So, guys, I did that once. I understood, I learned from that, and I understand that this is something that from this we learn. So please do what I do. Don't hit yourself for being wrong or for doing that. This is one. And don't, oh my God, it's going to be forever, ever, I'll be, I don't know, doomed because I've done that. I've done worse stuff than this in my life. So what you say, you should always be gentle with yourself. Just learn from the experience. Just learn from it, and do what you should like do in order to, like, after you learned.
I
Okay,
sent
so
a message to her just to ask permission to study, and she said, for study, I'm okay. But she said, but yeah, what I said, Leona, you didn't do that. You didn't know.
but this is what I'm saying. It's just like what you said about in Venezuela. And for me, it was, oh wow, this is so beautiful. I was learning, and then I said, okay, I opened the Etsy shop, and I'm like, okay, let me put that also. And then they took it off, and okay, I didn't put it back. I didn't try. I apologized on her. I sent her a message. I apologized, and I didn't put it back. And I gave it to my sister as a present. So what I'm saying is that there's let me answer some questions. I see there's some questions here, so I do want to answer them. Magdi is asking, what happens when you have a teacher that teaches to do a piece and the student do it the same way? That is a copy or should be giving credits, right? First of all, for teaching, exactly. If a teacher, at least I know that if a teacher, like me, I know that my students are doing one piece, which is this piece in the end of our course, on how to dot your mandala with a brush. And on the other course, they're doing 4 other pieces. And this piece, each one is doing on their own colors, they're doing interpretation, but the design is the same. I don't expect my students to go and say, this is, I don't know, they can, for me, they can present it, it's their work because they did it. But I know, because I know my students and lots of them, not all of them, and I respect all of them and I love all of them the same. But I know lots of students, what they're doing. Look what I did. This is the final work, final project of my course, of the course that I did with Leona. And I chose these colors because, and they choose their own colors. So it really depends, again, on your own consciousness. And I am not going after my students. You should have said, you should, no, I don't. And I really, really, for me, in this, at this point of my life, I don't care if they do it or not. I appreciate that they do share or say something. This is nice, but also if they would share it once, okay, and then they would share it as part of another picture or a series of picture. I'm not asking them all the time to do that and say every time, this is the piece number 1 on the left side is, because I don't ask them to do that and I don't want them to do that. And this is not something that's, it's up to you how much you put and how much you share the knowledge, because after all, if people will see an amazing you are becoming you, if you don't know how fast you become from an inspired person to an inspirational person, that person that people are getting inspired by, you are becoming that person very quickly. And I will show you, I will not mention right now names, but I will tell you that I have made a piece that is very famous piece of mine, and it's called the Andromeda Flower. And it was inspired by a person that I mentioned her on when I put that inspiration, that piece, I put that, it was inspired, it was this spiral kind of mandala.
Yes.
Now, the thing is, that after I've put that, another person turned to me and she sent me a message and she sent me pictures and she said, I started 2 years ago to paint these kind of spiral mandalas, and that lady that you mentioned copied me. Everybody thinks I stopped. She said I stopped posting because I had a child. I got a baby, and I stopped painting for a while. But then everybody thinks she did that because it was kind of a her thing to do. And then I was actually giving credit to the wrong person because I was not aware. So at the end of the day, you can or can you may give credit or not give credit. It's up to you. But she kind of that lady broke the chain, and because she broke the chain, I wasn't aware of that. I wasn't respecting the other lady that painted that, and I felt, I felt cheated a little bit. But that was
Because everyone also was not honest, like didn't tell you, Yona, look, I I'm getting credits for something and I've seen this is pretty common.
yeah.
There is a very famous page of mandala sharing, and a student of another professor that is not you and I posted a piece created by the professor. And this famous sharing page was sharing the version of the student and giving the credits of the creation to the student. And then of course I know who the professor is, and I am also friends with the mandala sharing honor. Then I said, hey, this person is a student of the other person. So the credits have to go to the creator of the design, and I gave the names. And but for example, I in December, in October, in September, sorry, I open up my class for the Christmas tree. Just to answer one question here. I sold Leona one Christmas tree. My students took my design and they sold many trees, and I was happy for them. You know, if my student wants to sell because they are accumulating and piling up stones and things and they want to resell, it's okay. Of course, I confess that I'm gonna be happy if they mention that it was inspired by the work or her teacher. So there are, I do the free events, of course, and I've seen students that they go to my free class, they do not enroll in my course, they do the mandala and they use them to promote themselves. In that case, I go after and I ask them to give me credits. You know,
I think it's very it's I think it first of all, okay, after we've given you like lots of let's say examples or
yeah,
examples, there are so many examples because we've been in this now for a while, and we've been on both sides, on the side that is copying, and I'm still getting inspired, and I think I kind of wanted to say what is the difference for me. What is the difference? I kind of wrote it for me. What is the difference with between copying or making an interpretation of somebody else's design? Because what is a design? A design is a combination of forms and a certain combination of forms, of colors, of structure and order, of, for example, in our case, the dots. Okay, so it's that certain design is a, not obviously we're all dotting. Okay, so the dots are not a, it's the technique, but a certain combination, a very certain combination of colors, forms and order on the surface, on a certain surface, is what construct, or this is what makes the design the design. So there is the sea urchin design that everybody's doing. And I think, if I'm not wrong, I think Elspeth McLean started that. And there's the diamonds design. There are very, very unique designs. You can see, for example, Vio Dots are doing, Viola from Vio Dots is doing very specific. Yes, there she's taking a lot of sacred geometry stuff, and she puts it into into life. She gives it life. No, but this is, we can all use, we can all make the flower of life, we can all make the tree of life, we can all make the seed of life, and we can all make all the things that are around that. These are kind of forms that everybody know or everybody learn at one point, and investigate and see. But the difference, this thing is not that. The thing is that when you make a certain design that includes forms that you have made, and somebody's coming and taking that exact design with these exact colors, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter that they're doing it better or worse than you are in the eye of the beholder, be more beautiful or less beautiful than you are. But it what matters is that if you are doing this, if they're doing this, they know that they are copying what you are doing. So the only thing that you should always be aware of, the only thing that you should Excuse me, perdona, ¿se puede cerrar la puerta? Estoy en live, tomo. Gracias. My husband.
Okay.
My husband. I see the doors open. I'm an ADHD. Everything bothers me. Like, don't bother me. Um, and I'm talking to him in English. Um, and when you are aware that you are doing this, where are you, darling? Where did you
Connect
go?
the
Oh, there you are.
computer because I don't want to run out of battery.
Okay. So when you
No,
are when you,
I'm all ears. I'm
no,
all
just do. What you are, there's the dog going with behind you with a,
cats like a baby.
you see my ADHD. um, so what I'm saying is that when you are aware of it, just just be just be aware. That means bring it from the back of your head
Yes.
towards the front of your head, and be aware of it. And then as a result from being aware, you will do what you think that would do, and that depends on you. This is all different kind of hi sis, my sister is here. um, this is all kinds of small things that you decide. This is a very gentle, like, responsibility that you are taking towards another fellow artist.
Yeah.
And in our very small world of dotting mandalas, or dotting in general, we, because we know each other, we are mingling in the same on the same groups, on the same communities on Facebook. We know each other, we share our stuff, we comment to each other, so we will know. So that is only a part, something that is, you say, oh my God, I love this work by Yossi, or I love this work by Tara, I like this work by Kathy, or and I have tried to make something that is inspired, or a copy of her work. I just did it with another color, or I just did it with another, but that was my inspiration. That would not take away from your value. This will not make you valueless, or your work will value less. This is not it. And that would be on the contrary.
And I think also, Leona, what you said is important. You can cheat on everybody, but you cannot cheat on yourself. I mean, it's not good. You cannot feel good by taking granted for other person's work. And the principle of kindness, no cost of giving credit. It's so nice. And it also helps the collaboration spirit of the community. Again, like a summary of what you've said. Um, this is maybe a takeaway from this, I would say. Like, be nice, give credits. I mean,
Be nice to yourself, mostly, because as we say, it's a kind of karmatic thing as well. It's a karma thing as well. I mean, it is. I mean, it's not like not here. I'm not here to frighten anybody, but it's a kind of, you kind of create a karma around you, and it's very nice that you do something that feels familiar and feels like we're family. You know that we are one, because we are one. At the end of the day, we are one. We know each other, not on a personal level, but we know each other on an energetic level, and on a spiritual level. We know each other, and we are responsible for each other in this in this area, in the art area, or in the dotting area, let's say.
I want
And
to answer one question here. Claudia is asking about recreate things in nature like Fibonacci. As Leona said, there are some patterns in nature that do not belong to anyone. I mean, it's nature. All sacred geometry, from Vesica Piscis to the seed of life to the flower of life to, all this sequence. This does not belong to anybody. But for example, if Leona creates a Fibonacci curve and she creates a, inside the Fibonacci, she creates a special specific art and somebody else's comes and recreates Fibonacci. With all the details, she copies dot by dot what Leona says. If that person promotes herself or himself, it's doing wrong. I mean, Fibonacci curve is one,
In
but
the end, in the end of the day, you can't do anything against it. This is not about going and finding, there are no bad guys here, like
chasing.
like there's like these are the criminals and they're the police, and then we're going to get the criminals for doing this. This is not this is not what we're trying to say. It is on the contrary, it's more turning to our in your own conscious and on awareness, and just reminding you how beautiful it is to and how considering it is to give the person that created um, a certain design the credit for this design. It's just like a quoting somebody. Okay,
Yeah,
there are people that have like very important quotes that you can quote, and you will write their name underneath for the quote. And I know that even if you take somebody else's quote, which is not a very like known person, okay, it's not a known person, but I did copy that from their page, and it says they had their name under it. I would take the quote with the name and I put that with the name. Now, if that would feel very awkward for me, because I would think I know this quote for somewhere, I know this person didn't say that, and I would investigate. But you also are you're not supposed to like go and investigate who did that first, like what happened to me with this lady
no,
with a spiral.
chasing witch, like chasing the witches, or I don't know what the
Yeah.
word is in English, but we want to have a community that uh, I don't know, embraces and honors others people's energy into work. I mean, by giving the credits, it's like always, being nice. I mean, we want to be nice. We don't want to be fighting for rights or claiming rights because it's Mandela. It's supposed to be something. It's art. The environment has to be nice, has to be fair also. Just be fair because, as you said, karma. I've seen many artists that were copying and getting credits for others' art's work, and then they started doing their things and other people also started copying them, and they had headaches like, oh my god, this person is copying me. Yeah, but you were copying the other one, right? So
This is why I'm saying, you'll see that very fast we're becoming, we are turning from being inspired to inspiring others. It's very fast in this world. We are a small community, and you are painting something really beautiful, and then and everybody would come and everybody would try to make a copy of that. And this is okay. Don't copy me, because people will copy you. People, you
yeah,
can't really control anybody's hands. Put your hands behind your back and don't copy me.
they
You can't do
copy
that.
and not tell you and not post anything.
Exactly.
But I would say, like as a takeaway, giving credits to to the original creator or to the artist will always be a nice thing to do to yourself and to the person that invested a lot of time and efforts to create that encourages a nice community friendship, and it's nice to feel valued, right? I think it's nice to also make other person feel valued. Maybe the other person is having a bad day and you give credits, and that enlightens the day, right? So yeah, in the end it's collaboration, teaming. We're here. Copying is not bad as long as you give credit. I would say.
And I wanted to talk about the inspiration itself, because the difference between copying and getting inspired, take a piece and being inspired by a piece or copying that piece, is that inspiration is more, it's more than it's not taking this order of or structure of forms and colors and put the same one on your work or apply it to your work, but maybe taking a part of it and building something around it, or taking somebody else's art, okay, and uh, kind of letting it affect you in a way that will um, that that will make you do something else, but that would make you do something else affected by that one.
Transform. Yeah,
Yeah, it,
transform.
it's
Yeah.
kind of letting someone else's art to ¿cómo se llama? Acariciarte, ¿no? To caress you, know, to touch you in a way, to touch your heart, and to influence the way you are doing things. This is when I look at something, and we talked about it last Saturday when we talked about the inspiration and creativity, that we are going into a search for creativity or a search for inspiration with an observing eye, or with an investigating eye, or with an investigating ability, and we look at this art that the person did, and we're looking for the what is it that made me feel so wow about it? What is it? What the exact thing is? It the combination of colors? Is it the work, this different sizes? Is it this form? Is it this form next to that form? And then take that little part and apply it to your art, and do something else but apply it to your art. This is for me more an inspiration than actually copying the whole thing. No, that's the difference between getting inspired by a work. Or, for example, I know that I'm inspired a lot uh, for the swooshes by Javier, because for me, Javi Gonzalez, he is like the king of fans,
He's
no?
amazing, isn't he?
of the
It-
fans.
it's a
Um,
pity he doesn't like video.
yeah,
Live
we
video.
tried. We both tried to talk to him to
Try to persuade him.
maybe one day we'll be able, maybe together we'll be able to do this. Anyways, he's very shy, but the thing is that he does that marvelously. And I know that every time I want to make some fans, those swishes fans, I'm turning to his work to see what he does there, and I am imitating his work there, to see were they all the same, height, or were they going down? Is they have something that goes like this, or is it going like that? So I do get inspired by him, and I do imitate his that thing in my work. Okay, not as successfully as he does,
No, but
but
yours are because they become like your own signature.
exactly. But I can make my own colors, my own thing. But I'm taking that part that I know he's very good at, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to see what he does there. So it will, to apply it to my own art. So I'm still doing this. It's not like I'm innocent of copying, of getting inspired or anything. But if my work would look something like his at one point, I would say that was inspired by Javier, or that was inspired. The dots were inspired by Yossi, and the swishes were inspired by
But I have one example that is very nice and I never told you about. I think you found an artist from Chile. She doesn't do much dotting. Her work is nothing to see with dotting. But I saw her art, and and it's funny. I wanted to show it's Dani Casas del
Daniela.
Daniela. Yes, Daniela Casas del Valle. And I started following her. I created my own thing. It's not even close to her art, because I use arabesques and these things.
Yes.
But I was inspired by the shades.
Shades.
I used by what you said, like, okay, I loved her art, but I found out the item that made me
Little
crazy.
thing that made it so that you really liked it, and then you applied
Yes,
it to your art.
exactly.
This
So
this is exactly what I'm talking about. This
it
is
was not daunting, but it was, how does she do that? It looks like layers on top of layers. And I started myself.
by the way, about the shades, I follow a graffiti artist that does mandalas. Usually he does that in Ibiza. I've seen him doing a lot of it in Ibiza. He's not Spanish. He's from, I don't know if he's English, or I don't remember exactly, but he's doing, and he does that with a shade. He paints from the outside towards the inside, and
Yes,
before he puts the actual leaf, he puts the shade and then puts the leaf on it. So it's kind of what you're saying from Daniela. It could have come from another person, but the fact that you take one fraction of a design and you use it in order to um,
yeah.
yeah, pump
I
your
added dotting, my own things,
you make
but that 3D effect, see, it's just to make an example of what your statement.
exactly.
Yeah, and it's like you say, you give credits. I mean, you see somebody's art. It's not a competition if you post and you share, oh, how beautiful this artwork is. You inspire other person, and it creates this nice community, encourages the community to get inspiration. Yeah.
You
So
know, one last thing that I thought that we should talk about is invite Javier to talk with both of you. Claudia says, I
yeah,
wish.
I think I have to go to Spain and see
Just so you
Javier.
know, just so you
I
know,
am so sorry.
just
But
so
we're gonna talk.
I tried as well, but Javier. I think he's now sneezing all over because we're talking about him. I will ask him later on. But he's actually from my town, from the town where I live. He was born here. He
Yes,
lived a few kilometers, like I don't know, 30 kilometers from here on the coast. But his mother is here. So when I just started to know him, and then I was missing something for my for one of my dad that I wanted to sell, and I didn't have the chain, so he sent me to his mother. He brought to his mother the chain when he was on in the weekend, and then I went. So I met his mother, but not him
oh, but have
personally.
you met him in person? Have you
Yeah,
met him in person?
I did not meet him in person, not yet. We're always talking about the day that we are going to meet. That he's going to come to visit his parents, and he will come here um, to visit me because we're
Can I
living,
say
I don't know, one
something for
kilometer
you?
from each other.
Look how nice the community can be by giving credit. This Andrea Maria Tesla from Hungary, she just wrote to me
Yes,
here, the creator of this
yes,
effect,
yes,
thanking for giving the credits.
exactly. So
See? And
it feels
he's
great.
going to teach me how to do it. So yeah. So guys, it's so simple. Just write a sentence. Thank you to that person for inspiring. It's so beautiful to do that. Yeah.
Diana asked about his page. Look for Javier Gonzalez on Instagram. Javi Gonzalez or Javier Gonzalez.
Javier. Yeah,
Javi, yeah.
his art is just out of this world too.
You would recognize that very fast. It won't be hard for you to understand how and look here, one of the things that we're doing here, that apart from just talking about these things, is that we like to share with you if we know artists that we think that you should know, and they are kind of part of our conversation. We would definitely recommend them, and we would definitely um, give them credits and send you to visit them, because this is the whole idea. The idea is to support each other in these things, uh, support your work in these things. And I learn a lot from my students. I learn a lot from other colleagues of mine, and I'm trying to make sure, even if I know, even if I have like a student that had a like aha moment or something, and then I would present what they said in the course or in the class or on their Facebook group, and I would kind of say, yes, this is, for example, one of my students in one of on one of my classes has suggested an idea of how to do something, and every time I show it to the new class, I always said, Yolanda, she's from Atelier Hatanef. She has suggested to do that when she was my student, and you can do that as well. It's not in the course, in the classes, but when I talk to them, to the students on the Swirl and Swish course, I talk to them on live sounds. So I give them that idea she does, and I mention her name. I don't take it to myself. I did not come out with this idea. It's a wonderful idea that has to do. I will show you this idea when you can join my course. But but I'm saying that this is a way to share more of your love and your stuff there. It's
And to be thoughtful, consider about others. Yeah, it's a line that doesn't cost anything, and it might save you trouble.
as well.
Yeah.
Um, just wanted to emphasize another thing very important, that we're talking about when we started when we started to talk about when we share somebody else's work, other work, and we present it as our own, or we are using it to promote ourselves, or so this was one thing. And then we went to copying. What is copying? How is like copying is taking a certain design or a certain combination of colors and forms and order and structure that somebody else's did, and apply it to our canvas or to our stone or to our art. And then after that, what is how to get inspired by somebody else and go with that observing eye, and to actually take these things that make you like those shades that you showed, you'll see, to take it and to apply it to your art, which is already your art and not somebody else's. And on the way, be very conscious, what is it that you are doing? Is it something? And more than going to other people and telling them, oh, you copied me, I would actually go first to my own self and see that I am doing what I am doing in a way that is not hurting. We all responsible to ourselves, and and to know that we are a very small community, so people will know if you are doing that or not. And in the beginning, I have to say that with time, in the beginning, I would go like after everybody. And then I understood that this is a waste of time, a waste of energy, a bad energy. I preferred to go and to create something new and to be all the way like innovative, yeah, to be innovative, to be the first one of doing this, the first one of doing that, because there will always be people copying you. There will always be people going after you because they are getting inspired. Not always it's done in a bad, like people wanted to be bad about that and do that to hurt you or anything. So I think what we're asking here, Yossi and I, is more than go for the other people to tell them what they're doing with your is more looking at yourselves, at your own selves, and see and be aware, bring this awareness of whether I am inspired, whether I am taking this art and I'm copying, if I'm copying, even the design or not even the colors, maybe I could share the credit with the original artist, which would be good for you. As we said, we're not here to uh, be the police or anything.
Yeah.
We're just here to awaken your awareness and your conscious. So about the context, what I wanted to say is, because this is happening more, that when you're sharing somebody else's work, and this is important because um, sometimes the context in which you are sharing something has that's what will decide whether you are copying or whether you are making something that is illegal in case of sharing somebody else's work, or you are doing something that is actually innocent or something that is good. Okay, if I would share a picture of Elspeth McLean's work with her hands on my Instagram, and I would not say anything. Even if I share her post, that means that you are sharing, I'm sharing on my story her post, and you could click and see that it's hers, but I am saying nothing about that.
That's not cool. No.
Not saying anything is the same as say, because I am kind of not, I'm putting you guys, or those who are watching my stuff, I'm putting you guys in a place where you don't know. Not everybody that follow me know her work, okay? Or not everybody who follow me knows that this particular thing is her work. So not saying anything would be like, not being vague about it and being not clear about it, and that is like dishonesty in my eyes, in my the way I see it. So sometimes the context is not about what you say, but whether you are saying it or not. It's not, you don't need to say that it's not, and I'm giving you a real example. My husband is a photographer, and he has some really nice photos on the Facebook. And one day we see one lady. She works on the city hall and everything. We know her, and she kind of took his picture, cut that part underneath where the watermark was, because he doesn't put the watermark all over the face, all over the picture, but on the bottom. And she put it there on her Facebook, like page, as a photo of the, how do you say, of the, and she didn't say anything, and everybody were like, how beautiful, this is, what a beautiful, and she says, thank you, thank you. And she wouldn't refer anything about that. Now, then when we talked to her, she said that she took it from somebody else and that it was already like this. So basically, it's a kind of a chain that it could be that she was innocent about it. But still, when you are doing this, when you have that knowledge, and if you're turning into yourself, and you talk to yourselves, and you have this talk within your mind, and
The
if you're
question.
really listening to it, you will know whether this is something that you're doing, if it's something wrong about it, if there's anything wrong about it. It's more connecting to yourselves and to your own judgmental abilities, inner abilities, and to remind yourself that just remind yourself that we're together in this, that we are all artists. We are all eating from our arts. Some of you not, but some of us, yes. And we are all want to share, because we want our art to be there. We want our art to be there for people to enjoy it, and for people to purchase it for some of us, and for people to come to our classes, and for people to, but we want it to be there. But we also want to feel that we are secured, and that we are protected, and that we are taken care of, and that we are not cheated, and that we are not feeling bad about that. And the only way to do it is as I say, it's not about demanding or being there and saying, do that, or don't do that, and putting it in a law. It's more about being conscious about it ourselves, being conscious only about what we're doing. We cannot be conscious to other people, but we be conscious about what we're doing and how we're doing it. So context, sorry, it's context of the things, whether you're saying something about it or not saying, and like be responsible, have this very delicate and gentle and fragile, um, let's say, responsibility towards each other, no, on
It's
this.
very nice. A final thought on my side would be to people in general. We all have the ability to create beautiful things. Okay, at the beginning, we do. Of course, it's like I see it like a mother with a baby when the baby is starting to walk. You copy. This is the copying, okay? But at some point, you have, if you want to evolve in your art, you have to start connecting with yourself and creating your own art. So don't judge yourself. Don't limit yourself. Like, I cannot do it. I always have to copy. Start little by little creating your own things, because imagine how beautiful it would be if you discovered that amazing connection with yourself inside. Imagine the things you would create by yourself. And we all have the ability to do that. We spoke about that last week. Uh, so also, if you're just copying and copying and copying, at some point may you are missing the opportunity to get to know what kind of inspiration or art can be created from
From
your
your own
own
self.
inspiration. Yeah, and this is also something to explore. um, you think about the evolution cycle. Okay, start copying, but little by little, you have to try like a plane to, to take off, just to discover and to get to yourself.
You say it like a plane, and I'm thinking always, when your mother is or your father is running after you with the bikes, and they're holding your bikes, and then they let you go, and then you drive on your own. It's a kind of getting your own freedom of creation, and like become creative by yourself, not just by influence of other. And it's all the time. It's all the time. It's this kind of seeing stuff and being inspired, not even knowing you getting inspired, and then suddenly find that you actually did this piece and it's all looking like your dress, and you didn't even notice
Inside
that you
your
were doing. Now we were talking about last week, but yes, guys, just I think that's it. You made the right like finish to like to close the whole thing. Be aware.
explore explore yourself, explore your connection. If even if it's not beautiful, it doesn't matter.
It's you.
Those fear, we fall when we're learning to walk. We fall, we stand up again. It's same thing with art. So yeah, and we all have that capability. We definitely do. Liana, I'm very thankful. Just in a nutshell, like, don't promote yourself with other people's art. If you're getting, it's not that bad to copy when you're starting to learn, but at some point think of evolution and always give credit to the community, to the artist, and get inspired. We have to be inspired, but also look on your own inspiration inside you. Yeah. But
And also forgive yourself if you have done that before.
exactly. That's great.
Forgive yourself, and know that you learn, and that you are advancing, and that you are becoming better, and that you are becoming more of a person that is aware more, and we are growing. We're growing with our art, and we're growing spiritual, and we're growing mentally and emotionally, and we are all like learning things. So also don't beat yourself with things, or and look at yourself in a bad way. This is also not what we wanted to
Mm.
bring here. On the contrary, we just look ahead towards the future, towards what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And we just offered here a few things so you can take with yourself, take to your journey to come. Thank you
Very well
guys.
said. I think it's
Yossi,
amazing that we have opened up to this kind of conversation, crystal clear with everybody. Uh, People who will watch this, who knows, in the future or so, that are entering into the community. I think in this video is summarized the do's and don'ts of
yes,
the dotting community,
yeah,
that the etiquettes we have to follow in
yes.
this community. And thank you, Leona, for the
Thank
invitation.
you,
If
Yossi.
I was supposed to invite you, I invited you to my house, but it was
And
messy.
today we were in my house. We will do the next. We will do. We didn't decide when we're going to do the next one, but it will be hopefully very soon. And we will talk. We will decide on the.
This in Spanish. Maybe we have to make a round like this.
But we will do. Maybe we should do the Spanish ones, not like apart from the ones in English. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So it will still be something that you can still come in and see it, and then we'll yeah.
If you have more doubts, feel free to reach us, Leona and I. Of course, we're here to help. We don't know it all, but I think we've been here in the community for some years, and we have dealt with several kinds of situations.
and
Our
also and also to offer us subjects to talk about, because we have some subject that we want to talk about. We have made a list, but if there's something that interests you that we should like come up and light a bit, give this shed a light about that special thing, that please write us, and we would love that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I am very thankful for this time. It was enlightening also to me. I love it. I loved it. Thanks for the questions, guys.
Yes. And if we did not answer questions, some of you guys, or did not, we try to read everything. It's just not that simple. And hopefully you've had a good time with us as we had with each other and with you. And I'll see you the next time.
Thank you so much. Yes, we'll be planning another one, and I promise to be inviting Leona. And this time, you're gonna be able to see her.
And make some food as well.
Absolutely, we'll drink wine and some boquitas, unas tapas, unas tapas. Thank you, Leona. It was amazing as always.
Thank you guys, everyone. And have a good evening, good morning, good night, anybody, wherever you are in the world.
I'm gonna have lunch now. Bye.
Me dinner. Bye bye.